Hey guys, this is Alex with Team APS.
Paul from Team APS.
Alec from Team APS.
I want to share with you some of my
Favorite
Fun decks with you guys.
for the upcoming format.
So the first deck is Simorgh. Now this is a deck that actually is based on a very old Yu-Gi-Oh monster that came in a very old starter deck, but it recently got a suite of new support cards. They're all winged beast monsters, but they focus on both dark and wind attributes, so I feel like they were kind of trying to combine the old Simorgh wind thing with the dark Simorgh retrain it got, and this is what we ended up with. But anyway, they basically focus on spells and traps. If your opponent has spells and traps, you can summon the small Simorgh monsters from your graveyard for free. They do get banished later on, and they have different effects, sending a Simorgh card to the graveyard, searching one from deck to hand, giving you extra normal summons, and the extra normal summons in particular are useful because you want to be able to summon your two new boss monsters. They both have different effects, but basically they involve either being able to negate spell and trap effects or being unaffected by your opponent's spell and trap effects. I think that this deck honestly comes together really well. You can use it with a lot of existing winged beast support, for instance. Wind support works really well here. And because all these cards came in Rising Rampage and they're very, very low rarity, there's really no problem with just picking this deck up and playing it, so I suggest giving it a try.
One of my fun decks is a new one that you guys have probably heard some rumors about, Marincess. You guys know that it's kind of a newish archetype. There really isn't a deck around it yet, but the typical Marincess deck right now is using Marincess, Paleozoics, and my personal favorite, Frogs. So it took me a while to get into it, but I'm liking what I'm seeing. The deck has a pretty simple strategy. It takes what Paleo Frogs already did, which was making Totally Awesome, and it's supporting it with some really annoying trap cards. But your Marincess add a little bit of extra flavor to it, because outside of Totally Awesome, you now have access to another boss monster you can leave on the field as well, your Marincess Marbled Rock. And she's pretty decent because she can add some protection to your board by discarding Marincess monsters from your hand. And she's really easy to make. You can just ladder up the link monsters straight to her and they basically make you do it. Either they'll add one to hand from graveyard or they'll special summon something from hand. You'll make your Link 3 pretty easily if you get just one Marincess on the field. And I'm pretty sure they're going to get new support soon, so it's really a deck to watch out in the future.
One of my favorite decks is Gadgets. And why I'm suggesting Gadgets is because, well, they're a really simple deck. At first, we only had the three main gadgets, red, yellow, green, and they would just search another gadget when you summon them. But then we got gold and silver gadgets, which would summon other gadgets when they're summoned. And then we got our Link Monster Platinum Gadget, which lets us, well, one, it gave us a Link Monster because, well, you know how Master Rule 4 did us. But now we can actually get us another search for more plays. We can actually do things. But gadgets have always been limited by, the extra deck. That's how they play. They make rank 4s, but now we have so many strong ones, Baguska, Exciton, you know the ones. But to make it even better, in Fist of the Gadgets, we got the boot up soldiers. They're not crazy strong, but essentially they equip gadgets and then they can use those gadgets to pop monsters.
I don't know what that guy was talking about, but one fun deck you really should try, something that I don't think anybody has really played along with, except for maybe me and Paul, because I told him. Valkyries. A lot of the monsters special summon other Valkyrie monsters either from hand or deck. They also do a lot of attack increase for themselves and decrease for their other monsters. They also have their own, soul charge and final light. You pay 1,000 light points, target as many Valkyrie monsters in your graveyard, special summon them, along with, I guess you could call it their win condition, and that Mischief of the Time Goddess. Have your battle phase, skip to your next battle phase, no questions asked. And it's searchable in a spell card that they have that lets you special summon up to, I think, as many as 3 Valkyrie monsters from your hand. Really good, just punch them up, beat them up strategy. Y'all know I'm about that.
The next deck I wanted to talk about is Rokket. So this is a deck that, if you guys have been watching this channel for a while, you'll know I really love. It finally got a new structure deck. I actually made like a $30 kind of triple structure deck budget version of Rockets, and it's a lot of fun. The way the Rockets work is if they're targeted by a Link monster, they can self-destruct, take a piece of your opponent with it, and then at the end phase, you'll be able to summon a new Rokket monster. Some of the new support though makes this a little bit stronger of a strategy. So boot sector launch and quick launch are still really important components, but we now have new things like Router Dragon and most importantly Rokket Tracer, which is not only a tuner but actually lets you tutor your rockets out of the deck very quickly and popping cards on your side of the field. It's really good too because it's a quick effect. And my favorite part about Rockets is of course the boss monsters. We all know about Borreload. You can also use Borrel Sword, Borrel Guard, and the new Borreload Furious Dragon, which is a fusion monster, Borreload Savage Dragon, if you can afford it. And in the next set, they'll be getting Striker Dragon, which lets you search boot sector launch. And that's incredibly important because this is really the card you need to get your play started. They've also got a lot of miscellaneous support cards, and it's just a fun, easy deck, and you can get 3 of the structure decks and just start playing right away. So, highly recommend it.
A deck that recently got support is Fire Fist. Now, Fire Fist has come a long way since the 4X and 3.5 axis days. We've got new cards breathing new life into this deck. We've got cards like Panda and Elephant that help us extend our plays. We have a new Link monster, an Eagle, who actually can remove the cost of using your Fire Fist monster's effects, so we can combo without losing advantage. We've got a new Ritual that can negate monster effects, and a fusion that can pop cards. Like, if you couldn't tell, this is a really versatile deck. And between you and me, don't tell anybody I said this, I really think this is going to be a competitively viable deck in the coming year.
You know, guys, another deck I really enjoy is Tenyi. They're those worm monsters that focus on having non-effect monsters on your field. They've got a bunch of main deck monsters, which are a bunch of elemental dragons or worms. They're basically all worms, even though they're called dragons. Not sure why that is. And they have a bunch of hand effects and graveyard effects that allow you to basically use them while they're not on the field. But you can easily get them on the field with a special summon effect. When you do that, you're able to start getting into your link shenanigans, where you're able to link ladder up from your Monk of Tenyi to your Shaman of Tenyi, all the way to your Berserker of Tenyi. And the Berserker of Tenyi, while having no effects, has 3,000 attack. It's pretty powerful. And if you support it with your Shaman and your Elemental Dragons in your hand and graveyard, it can be really hard to get rid of. So Tenyi are actually a pretty cool archetype, and there's actually more support coming from them in the future. They'll get another boss monster. Well, actually 2 new boss monsters. So there's a lot going on for them in the future as well. It's a pretty simple deck to play too, so I think you guys would really like it if you try it.
I might catch some flack for this. But if any of y'all really tried playing Dangerous, I'm not talking about Danger Thunders, I'm not talking about Danger Orcas, I'm not talking about Danger Lunalites, I'm not talking about Danger Skystructure, Shuanuri, Omega Lord, Lambda, shenanigans. I'm talking about Dangers. Pure Dangers, all monsters, spells, traps, field zone, Dangers. Especially since, because of the Gold Sartans, Dangers flying everywhere. You get a Danger, everyone gets Dangers. Y'all know how they work. Reveal, pitch, special draw, reveal, pitch, special draw, reveal, pitch, special draw. Go crazy. But a lot of them do have good stats on them. Bigfoot's big and beefy, 3000k. Thunderbird isn't bad. Wolfman isn't bad. Some of them even let you do things like pop spells, traps, other monsters. I mean, they even have a really good trap card that you can activate on your opponent's turn that lets you draw cards and pitch danger cards, which I'm sure, as you know, trigger their effects on your opponent's turn. And the field spell protects them when they're special summoned that way. Something to think about. Also, even if you don't want to just kind of punch your opponent in the face with a Bigfoot, still open up your extra deck to all sorts of weird link shenanigans that I'm sure you degenerates can keep up with.
Another really interesting deck that actually just came out in Fist of the Gadgets is Code Talkers. So this is kind of the protagonist deck of choice, and the Code Talker monsters are something that have sort of been building up over the years. They're all Cyberse monsters, and they all kind of have these little effects. The Code Talker link monsters can actually extra link your opponent, and each of the different ones, like Transcode Talker, Power Code Talker, Encode Talker, Decode Talker, Code Talker, and even a few that are not actually released yet, all have different effects. Some of them can, negate monsters' effects, change attack and defense, prevent targeting, get extra attacks in battle, lots of things like that. The one issue, I guess, here is that you do need to pick up the new Yu-Gi-Oh! Legacy of the Duelist Link Evolution game if you want to get some of the new support cards, like Microcoder, for instance. But once you have stuff like that, this deck is actually a lot of fun. You are able to use a lot of different monsters with different attributes, and as you guys know, that stuff really stands out to me for some reason. And if you just like anime-themed decks, this is probably the best thing for you. So it's a little bit complicated. Learning the combos is a little hard. It's probably more than I can explain here in this video. But really, once you do it once, you kind of just remember the order and it just goes. And the different code talkers have really cool effects. So if you have the money to spare, give it a try.
Another great deck idea is Heroes. Now, we've all loved Heroes at one point or another. Heroes have so many sub-archetypes, from Destiny Heroes all the way to Vision Heroes. And in the last 2 years, just about everybody's gotten new support. Key cards that have come out, Elemental Hero Solid Soldier, which, he lets you summon another hero from your hand, which could be your off the ban list Stratos, huh? But then he also can recover cards when he's sent to the graveyard using a spell effect. But oh my gosh, how are you gonna do that in a hero deck, right? And I can't forget about Vision Heroes. We finally have a way to make Link monsters. Vision Heroes, they are very efficient. They activate on the field and in the spell and trap zone, in the graveyard, and they essentially end up being a Link engine. That way we can actually make more than one fusion monsters. We can use our mask heroes, we can use our elemental heroes, destiny heroes, whatever you want. Really, heroes are about as close to being competitively viable as they've ever been.
And those are
my fun decks.
If you like this video, be sure to like and subscribe.
If you think that you have some decks that you want to talk about, please comment below.
As always, y'all know where to find us.
That's Facebook and Twitter.
Join our Discord.
We do have a membership program. Hit that.
Instagram, Snapchat, Tinder.
All the good stuff.
That's all I got for you guys.
Pass turn.